Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brownwater Banter Podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
That's right. And we got a great show for you lined up in the studio. Man, we got a twofer today. We got two charter boat captains in here. Captain Alex, Captain Sonny from Short Thing Charters. We're going to be chopping it up with them, talking about their business and what's been going on lately out in the Gulf of America. That's right, the Gulf of America. But before we do that, we're going to thank the people that keep the lights on for us over here at the Brownwater Studios. Right out of the gate, Dr. Robbie Williams over at Southern Magnolia Smiles, man. If you're looking for a great local dentist, they are located on Washington Avenue in Ocean Springs. You can find them on the socials at Southern Magnolia Smiles on Facebook and Instagram. And what did we say? 2025 is the year to brush your teeth, is what you said last time. Brush your teeth. We're going to roll with that one until we come up with a better one. When you're ready to book that consultation with them, man, give them a shout at 228-215-1202 and tell them that you heard about them on Brownwater. If you need legal representation, this is Taylor and Cox Law Firm. That's our buddy Tyler right there in that photo. They've been practicing law on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for a while now. They specialize in felonies, misdemeanors, DUI, family law, divorce, and child custody issues. So if you need somebody that's going to fight tooth and nail in your corner for you right here on the Gulf Coast, give them a shout, 228-696-0111. And once again, tell them that Brownwater sent you. It is about to be March. So, man, if you're not got that New Year's resolution started, you're really, really behind. But it's not too late. Forever Young Men and Women's Health can get you back where you need to be. This is our buddy Kendrick right there. Book a consultation with them. Let them do some lab work on you. Figure out why. Maybe you're lazy for a reason. Maybe it's not your fault.
Maybe you're just lazy.
Maybe you're vitamin deficient. Maybe you need some hormone replacement. Kendrick specializes in testosterone replacement for both men and women. So go bring your lady friend in there with you. Get your labs checked and get back to back in the gym and feeling better for yourself. So check them out on Facebook, Forever Young Men and Women's Health. And when you book with them, tell them that Brownwater sent you. So I'll beat you again, Joey.
No, it's not even.
I know it's not.
Close
one thing we can't mention before we jump into the conversation here is that we got the Bay Rat Bash. It's going to be coming up in just a few weeks. Registration is not live yet. We're still kind of crossing the T's and dotting the I's, but be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a good time, and you can turn a hardhead catfish into like $1,000. I think we're doing this year.
American dollars.
I don't know what else to tell you on that, but gentlemen, thank y'all for stopping by this evening. I think just randomly, because we were talking about the website issue the other day. Remember when you were sending me that message?
Yeah.
You were here in 23. Is that right? Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't think I was here last year.
Yeah, I think it was 23. And you were the first thing that popped up when I was checking something on the website.
Good, yeah.
And that's why I remember that.
Y'all were making fun of our birding.
Yes, I do remember that conversation.
Yes,
I don't know if I was making fun of it so much because I think we were mentioning that about the different types of charters that you can do. I think that's a great idea.
Man, we're about to hammer those.
Really?
For April.
Is it the time of year?
I'm telling you. That's why I was picking your brain about the new, you're in your second year of
Second year.
I'm telling you,
Birding.
Hey, anybody that's willing to pay money to go out on the water is a client, right? That's the way I would look at it, regardless of what they want to do, as long as it's not illegal.
A boat ride, anything. Yeah.
Look, you, the old saying, what is it? A good day. What is it? A bad day fishing's better than a good day birding.
There you go.
Well, a bad day birding is better than a good day fishing.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but do you ever have a day where you see zero birds? Never. That's what I thought.
Never.
Yeah.
We've had them so good. People not from the area, like we don't venture much over past Long Beach. That's kind of our threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Gulfport, but they'll be in the parking lot. You know how all those herons and egrets that are eating off those aren't going to be, the shorebirds and whatnot.
Right.
They're not going to be up in Jackson or Birmingham. So it starts before you even crank the motor.
Could you imagine if you could do that with fish? They were just right there, just
in
hanging
the
out
right
by the dock, just staring at you.
There's 12 trout over there.
We're going to be catching more of those later. Wave to them real quick. You can feed them if you want.
You laugh. Remember when Captain Keith took that group and
in the harbor?
Blowing like 30 miles an hour, raining.
Don't tell me they got their limit or something.
They
very close
on redfish.
Still caught fish though.
All day. Caught fish all day.
Had almost a limit of redfish tag. I think he released a bunch of rats. In the harbor, in the fast harbor.
Never cranked the motor.
Yeah. What do you think the client thought? Were they out of town people?
He was trying to talk them out of it.
Yep.
And they were like, "Look, we're here. We want to go." He's like, "Look, all we can do, walk into the seawall and the waves are coming in the parking lot." He's like, "I'm not."
we can't.
We're gonna die.
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, can we just fish here?" And he said, hop in. And I'm sure they probably loaded up some fun drinks and turned up the stereo. And he just went in and out of the slips and did that.
Oh my gosh.
Remind me too, I brought a tag book. I'm so glad you said that. Definitely want to talk, and are you getting into tagging?
I got the book. Yeah,
man.
Haven't done anything with it yet.
We'll jump into that.
Yeah,
that reminds me of being in the harbor, though, like you said, like Billy Madison. You remember that movie when he finally hit the hole in one because he couldn't putt, and he was like, "Well, I'll just do that every time."
Yeah, so much easier.
Don't you think he was sitting there like, "Well, why do I ever leave the damn harbor? This is way better. It's way better." But real quick, if you could, we mentioned you were here in 23. This is your first time on the show, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So could y'all just introduce yourselves to people that are catching you for the first time and like kind of explain what, short thing, what the whole operation's like?
Man, I do it all the time. If you want to take it.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. My name's Alex McIngvale. I'm originally from North Mississippi and moved down here in 92 when I was 8th grade, 12 or 13, and knew this guy. Actually, before then, we were at Camp Stanislaus together, work camp together, went to high school together, and, did a bunch of cool things. And I actually started my guiding career I started guiding duck hunters when I was 13. So, did that for a long time. And as soon as we moved down here, instantly went to work on a boat and worked the fishing boats at Camp Stanislaus. And my whole life, when we still lived in North Mississippi, we came down here and fished all the time, 4 or 5 trips a year, fished with Captain Steve West out of the Broadwater Marina, who I still think is one of the finest charter captains that has ever come out of Mississippi or probably anywhere on the northern Gulf Coast. He kind of pioneered the small boat era of what we run today, the small center console. Yeah. Anyway, I still blame him a lot. Every time I run across him, I blame him for this career. But we worked camp together. And then after that, I went to Mississippi State, and during the summer still, worked on boats, guided duck hunters during the winter. After Mississippi State, got a degree in wildlife biology. I managed and developed duck hunting properties across the Southeast, mainly in Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, a few in Tennessee, and in Missouri. Still do that on a consulting basis. And then time rocked on, did that, kind of got out of the fishing, and then about 2008, 2009, wanted to get back into the fishing game, and actually reached out to Sonny, who I'd been seeing the success down here.
Local legend.
Right. Of course, I knew.
Infamous.
And initially what I wanted to do was come straight here and saw, what they had been doing for years. Short thing started in 2003 with Captain Mike Thompson, and Sonny was working in Venice and came over 2005, 2006.
Fall of 2006.
And, saw the success and wanted to be part of that. And, back then, he told me, he's like, man, they had 4 boats at the time. And we don't have the business for another boat. So what I ended up doing was Sonny actually got me hooked up with who I went to work for over in Venice, Louisiana, and ended up working for Super Strike Charters out of Venice, running offshore boat over there, and was in Venice until I came back over here in 2014.
Okay.
And have been part of one of the original shore thing captains had retired, Captain Kyle Giroux out of Biloxi. And when Captain Kyle retired, Sonny, let me know, and the business was, they were steadily building. And he let me know, hey, we got a spot, one of our main guys, if you're interested. And, had a great experience in Venice, but was ready to get back over here and, not be
at the end of the earth.
Right. So I did that, and I've been here since, and it's been a steady growth since then. We just had 4 boats in, and now we're up to 11 captains and 12 boats.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. We just got one last week.
And we explain how y'all do this, because it's a little different. I know it's small craft harbor over in Biloxi. Most of the charter boat captains are their self. Like me, I'm heavy metal charters, so-and-so charters, but y'all all fall under short thing charters, correct?
So yeah, it's more of a club, if you will. Everybody owns their own boats. Everybody has to do every aspect. And I mean everything. If the portalet's dirty, I clean it one day and the new guy cleans it the next. It's everybody does everything. As far as the offshore, it's fantastic because he's the only one that does it, and he's the only one that really wants to do it. My neck, back, knees, mind. I love it. The only time I really go is with him, and it's few and far between. But from the first phone call, we have a phone call this morning. The guy, I got 6 people, and I'm trying to push him to 2 bay boats. He's like, no, I saw on your website you got a big boat, an offshore boat.
Right.
Like, Alex, Alex handles the phone call and takes care of every aspect of it from that first phone call till they get in their truck or vehicle after the trip. So, but yeah, it's a group. And the cool thing over on our side, and I hope you have it or get it, is how well our guides work together.
Right.
The guys at Grand Pass, and there's a lot of ex Stanislaus graduates.
Yeah.
If that's the right way to say that, ex graduates.
Yeah.
But Ronnie Daniels and Connor and all the Brett Ladner and all these guys over there. I had one text right as y'all were firing up the machine. It's even though we do have a big group of guys working together, it's massive. Yeah. So if a huge group, like really, really big group, 60, 70 people wanted to come down with enough planning, you'd probably have to plan well over a year out, right? For these guys that have been in it this long, we can do it. So we work that closely together. I mean, there's guys coming in and all afternoon, hey, the water cleaned up to this side, or, they've got bait here, and so-and-so's selling trolling motors, it's nice. Hopefully things stay like they've been over there.
Well, obviously you got enough business to keep rolling if you're adding captains and adding boats. Is there a pecking order when it comes to that?
There is and there isn't.
Yeah.
Most of us that have been in it as long as we have, like my year's mostly done. I'm sure most of his year's done. The 4 minus Kyle, that I would even say the majority of our guys, most of their year's done by February, and then they'll hold it and try and fill it. But we also have that house that takes 3 to 5 boats out of the equation pretty much from, mid to late March to late October, early November.
And that's the one on Cat Island.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the main reasons we have so many boats working for us, is that thing takes so much effort. There's no small, there's no 2-person, 1-boat trip to that. It's minimum 3 boats.
Yeah.
Sometimes up to 5. A lot of moving parts. And then you got to have people on land manning the phones. And if somebody wants to go snapper fishing or chasing tuna, this guy's got to be available.
Yeah.
So it's,
you ask about the pecking order. A lot of it takes care of itself,
right?
Because we're very, very fortunate, and we have such a diverse group. We all, on the inshore side, we all do the same thing, but with kind of nuances here and there. So if you get a phone call out of the blue, somebody that's never fished with us, and they kind of have a request for something certain. For instance, hey, we want to go way back in the marsh and fish the ponds for redfish. Even when I'm running inshore trips, that's not really my favorite thing to do. Right. Whoever answers the phone is going to immediately push them to Sonny or Matt or
Ray.
Yeah. Or if we get it,
so you push to their strengths, right?
Right. And that's another thing that's so cool about our group is everybody. All of us, mainly them, are phenomenal on the water, but everybody's got their own little best at that, and we all feed off that and get the advantage of having that.
Right.
Yeah. So. And new Doc, right? Newer Doc over at Shaggy's.
Yeah. So he's a resident, 2-boat resident, or
Yeah, well,
Kinda.
technically,
He's
yeah.
double parked.
Two boats.
Right,
He's got
right.
2 boats in the equation. That's why we have one more boat than captains. Alex always has a big go far boat and an enclosed bay boat.
But that's recent, right? I mean, that hasn't been there forever. That's within the past 4 or 5 years.
21. We got into those slips in August of 21. It's just amazing. I think it is the most cohesive and the best charter boat dock definitely since the old Broadwater days. You get the old Broadwater feel. So Mike Freeman and I, another old super old school guy, he used to run out of there as well. He runs a private boat in Texas now, but we used to talk about it because he and I both were running around in the early 90s over at the Broadwater kids, harassing everybody.
Right.
And it's got a Broadwater feel. Everybody, we've actually got walk-up business again, and then the atmosphere Shaggy's provides. There's always live music and good time. It's just.
Have y'all ever been there?
Been over there? Yeah, I've been there.
Man, it's an experience,
right?
Whether you're fishing or not.
Yeah,
it's very Destiny.
Right.
Panama, Destin, Pensacola.
Well, that whole area has blown up recently. It's. I mean, I'm guessing it's good for y'all. Everybody wants to get a little bigger, and then it's like, oh, we got too big, let's roll it back in a little bit.
Exactly.
But they're bringing y'all business, so
but the boats, they're literally closer, and I think everybody likes it. They're closer than we are. So if the guys are rigging stuff up, or hey, where you going? Hey, you have a Tuesday open. I got an afternoon call. Are you available? I mean, those guys, and I'm trailer trash. I work off the trailer still.
Really?
I will always do the trailer. And it's nothing against, I'm dear friends with Rimmer Covington and love Shaggy's. They've taken it to a level that I didn't know we'd ever see.
Right.
Mississippi Gulf Coast. Blind Tiger as well. But I like being able to go wherever I want. So if I want to go to the Wrigley's, I'll get on the trailer.
Right.
If I want to play a hard east wind, I can go to Back Bay.
And there is a huge advantage of that, especially certain times of year, especially in the fall. I would say.
And that was what I remember when we were talking with Rimmer about it. I was like, I will not be here from the first cold front in September until April.
Yeah,
it's the whole cool weather months were way to the west. I think it's 12 miles to the Caddy dock from y'all's dock.
Yeah, I think the 3 mile from the Caddy, it's what, 7 or 8 miles, and we're 18 from the pass.
And it's cold, and I'm cold right now.
Run.
Look, y'all are all in t-shirts.
It is a long cold run. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing this time of year? You mentioned that most people are finishing up. The people are still trying to book trips down here. I'm sure that some of them. What are we targeting right now? I mean, you're the inshore guy. You're the offshore guy. So let's start with you, because I know tuna. Everybody's looking for that right now. Mahi, if they're pushed in, any of that stuff. So go ahead and tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, man. Right now we're in our prime. Probably if you're gonna book a tuna trip out of Mississippi, the best time of year is now in the winter and in the fall. They're going to be the closest that they get to us. They're on more or less. They're on the shelf, and January saw some of the best big tuna fishing that we've seen, that I've ever seen. And I'm talking to a lot of the guys out of Venice, that they've seen in a long time as well. So we're mainly targeting those bigger yellowfin on the shelf and wahoo, which they've been kind of sporadic for us. And, it's kind of, you're either zero or hero with those. And then we're getting some calls of guys that want to go do some deep dropping, snowy grouper, yellow edge, stuff like that.
Tiles, y'all do any tiles?
Every now and then, I'm not a great tile fish.
Right.
And so when I catch them, it's more on accident.
Right.
Yeah. But we do run across them, from time to time.
But the groupers and everything, you got those pretty much dialed in, right? Deep dropping.
Yeah, we're fairly lucky with those.
Right.
We've had some good trips on them, but normally this time of year, it's all about the big yellowfin and wahoo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you said it, but 37 Freeman.
34.
I've never been on the boat.
That's
how good he is at handling that side of Shore Thing offshore, we'll call it.
Yeah.
I have never seen the boat, and you've had it for.
We got that one in August of this year, last year.
And I'm also trailer trash too, so
Right.
I'm always leaving.
Well, you can't miss it on a lift. You got a bay boat, bay boat, bay boat, bay boat, I mean, 34-foot
yeah,
Freeman.
it's cool. But yeah, he comes and goes and does all that out of that big pretty boat. Everybody loves it. You know?
Yeah. Where are you usually fishing? Are you fishing shallow fields? Are you running to the lumps right now? And what does that ride include? I mean, how long about?
Yep. So to the east lump, what everybody calls the east lump, actually the horseshoes,
right,
are all the general areas that we fish on the east side of the river. It is about 86 miles from the pass harbor. So it's a pretty good run. Luckily, with those boats, we got the speed, and even if it's a little breezy especially out of the east, we can duck in on the inside of Chandelier, and so it's not a horrible run. Hour and 30, hour and 45 minutes usually. Sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. But we're fishing all the stuff on the east side of the river, the same stuff as the fleet out of Venice does, and that's why I say this time of year is our best chance. At tuna and stuff. Later in the year, as the fish push offshore, the bait gets more scattered. When the fish are really due south and to the west side of the river, that's when we really don't chase tuna that much. It's just not feasible for us to make those runs. And that's when we're doing more bottom fishing, reef fishing, stuff like that. But all on the east side of the river.
Yeah. Still throwing poppers, or how are we finding it?
Yeah. And doing the chum thing, but it's more been top water trolling baits and stuff like that. And these big obnoxious swim baits have kind of become popular the past couple of years. I never thought I would use them, but enough people caught fish on them and tried them and actually worked. And so, but yeah, seeing this time of year, a lot of open water fish,
right?
And we're kind of hoping that they'll kind of congregate at some point on one of the natural bottom areas, either the horseshoe lumps or the actual east lump or the 24-mile rigs, and then we can kind of get them nailed down there instead of having to run all over the world looking for them every day. That's normally the toughest part of the day is finding them.
Yeah.
You left out one of your biggest assets is Mitch.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So Mitch is the
deckhand
oldest son of Mike Thompson.
Okay.
Who started Shore Thing.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I didn't tell you this on this 4-hour drive we took to get it.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
We had a ball.
Yeah.
He exaggerates the drives like the fishing reports.
Right.
So Mitchell, I had to chaperone my daughter's Mardi Gras formal. It was cool. She invited me to chaperone it. I was honored. I had to do it. Well, the girls' school, Our Lady Academy, is right next door to Stanislaus, so a lot of them come. And I'm sitting there, and my only job was kind of concessions. So I'm just, handing out waters and king cake, and it was cool. And this kid comes walking up, hair all messed up, but he's wearing a tie. I had to stare at him for 5 seconds before I realized it was Mitchell.
Yeah, he's grown a foot.
I know, he's giant. And, I mean, I was there the day he was born. That's how well.
Right.
And just the coolest guy. If that's the next generation, we have a lot.
Pass it down to good hands.
Hopefully, that's what's coming because he's just got it. He's very coordinated.
He is 16, and this is his third. This will be his third season with me.
Yeah. And
at 16, he is better than a lot of 35-year-old people I've had on the boat.
And mates. Never complains. We're in the mornings, everybody's my elbows and and I got a hook in me and he's not, overly, he's just, what do you need?
Right.
We need, but so I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So he's sitting there, his hair's all messed up. I was like, what do you want, Mitch? You want to water some king cake? And he's like, you been fishing? I was like, this is your night, man.
Yeah, he wants to chop it up.
You couldn't hear with the boom boom music and all this. I was like, man, it's fine. You going during Mardi Gras, huh? I was like, oh, yes, we always fish during Mardi Gras. Yeah. I was like, Mitchell, did you come here with a date? Where is she?
Yeah.
And he says, Oh man, walk off.
He's out of his element there.
Focus.
I wanted to talk fishing too, but this is y'all's night. Go have fun.
He's so eaten up with it. The first summer that he worked full snapper season with me, not this past summer before, we had, 15, 16, 8, I don't know how many days in a row, a lot of doubles in there. We're finishing up one day. I think it was after we'd ran a double. It was almost dark. Finished up washing the boat, got it on the lift, and we're walking down the pier, and I mean just dead tired, both of us. And walking down the pier to go to our vehicles, and he looks down and sees 4 or 5 of the giant black drum in the harbor, and he looks at me. He's like, "Hey, can I go to the boat and get a sabiki rod and try to catch one?" I said, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Go." So I mean, he went and grabbed a bait rod, and he's
ate up.
He's hooked.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's bad. It's gonna be bad for him. He's hooked.
But before we jump into the inshore stuff, tell us the trips that you offer on that boat.
So it basically just 2 trips, half day and a full day. The half day is basically nothing we do this time of year. That our half day, our 6 hour, whatever you want to call it, is just going to mainly be during snapper season.
Okay.
For our people that just want to do a snapper trip, and then we do the full day. Basically as long as we all can stand it. And that's what we're running this time of year with the with all the tuna trips and wahoo. We have some people that book the full day stuff that want to spend all day bottom fishing. Want to spend all day trying to target larger snapper, and then the group or the deep drop stuff, and do a variety of things. But this time of year, it's basically just the full day.
Full day.
Okay. It sounds to me like, listening to y'all talk about this, it's just a natural progression that everything turned out the way it did with all of y'all being under kind of one umbrella. It really wasn't planned.
We're winging it.
Yeah.
Still winging it.
Right. We got Josh Ellis to come. And it was just kind of a nonchalant, Josh is the brother of Jordan Ellis, who is one of the big dogs with Mexican Golf.
Okay.
His brother, John Ellis, is an unbelievable private captain. I mean, they are an institution.
Yeah. We talked to some of them getting off the boat down there at the Nutri-Rat Rodeo.
Yeah. And he came on a few years ago, and Jordan, we all went to Stanislaus. Jordan called, like, we were having like an intervention. Like, do not let my brother do this. He's going to call you. And I'm like, yeah, happy to do it. I always try and talk people out. I'm like, unless you have a degree or a trade or something, do not get into this without plan B.
Right.
You don't have to do plan B, but
at least have one.
At least have one, especially, he's a husband and father. And so I promised Jordan I would do it, and tried. And of course he's like, no, I'm all in, and crushed it. Well, he teamed up with Clay Nikes and Eddie Peterson, Jeremy Skinner, Dustin Bounds, and they've been just crushing it with Grand Pass.
Right.
But we trade so much work. Mm-hmm. We've all kind of been working together for each other, directly and indirectly, for the last couple of years. Corporate trips where they need extra help, we need extra. Anyway, so we're just kind of shooting the breeze during hunting season with Josh. And it was kind of just a joke, like, man, come work with us this year. It'd just be easier than having to, figure out who's going on what day.
I'm tired of calling you.
Yeah.
And it was literally just a 5-minute phone call that, we just kind of ripped the tag off one and just, like I said, winging it. But like those guys, the Grand Pass guys, the Ronnie and those guys, they're good people.
Yeah.
And they're hardworking. They're good family. They're good on land, good on water. And I think our guys, all of our guys hunt together. They vacation together. Our wives, they
mostly get along.
No. They get along too well.
Right.
Right.
It's
that always makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
If the wives get along, then you're allowed to spend time together.
Man.
Yeah.
But it's been really fun. And most of the guys and girls that have been in it for a while, talking about Angie.
Right.
They'll tell you, most of this the best parts are working with the guys
right.
and the girls. And, like our crew at Cat Island, we've got people that come down from Arkansas and work with us. We've got youngsters that we pull out of high school, like Mitch. We've been trying to steal Mitch to the island. He'll never let it happen. But these younger high school kids that they're eating up with it. And you get to hear their stories. And, we've got to kind of tone down some of ours, but
G-rated.
We might get into some of those.
Maybe. But the people that have come and, and gone, and the list of good is so far outweighs the list of bad that something's working, and we just, everybody's happy, everybody's busy, everybody gets along. We squabble, and everybody
is that what you think what makes it why some make it and some don't? That's a huge part of it?
I think a lot of it, if your stuff on land isn't right, and that could be anything.
Okay.
That could be money. It could be health. It could be
home life.
Yeah. Kids. Yeah. Whatever. If your land stuff, your head.
Yeah.
If it's not, look, everybody loves to go fishing. It's fun. It's awesome. I wake up before my alarm 95% of the time. On cold days, on rainy days, it's awesome. But you're only, a couple hours out there, and whatever your problem was, it's probably going to be magnified when you get back. And if you're fishing a lot and you're not dealing with that, and you're not taking a day here, look, I'm guilty. I probably need to take more days off. My wife will tell you I need to take more days. But, if you're not doing those little lunches and movie dates with your daughter, or your son, or going to the park, they're going to remember that.
Oh yeah.
And most of our guides, they've been very blessed with a lot of repeat customers. They're fish killing. They are just trained killers, to a point now where they go kill what they need, and then they go home, or they're more worried now about booking days off. A lot of our guys have become grandparents since, I say a lot, 3 or 4 of them.
3, 1, 2, 3 at least.
Yeah. And look, that
priorities change.
Look,
priorities change real quick.
It's not even a discussion. It's, I will not be working this day.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let them young bucks take it.
That's something else good about not only our group, but I think what Sonny keeps mentioning as well. We have there's such a good core group that I call it out of the past, but that whole, some of them still run out of Bayou Caddy as well. Man, if you got one guy that has an issue at home, medical, you're going to have 10, 11 guys, all our guys, plus all the guys that work around us jumping in. Hey, how can I help? You need me to run a double. Yeah. You need me to try to run 3 trips to take care of your guys. And, so we're very, very, very fortunate.
So as a tight knit group like that, do y'all, how do you vet somebody before they're allowed in the ring, the circle of trust? I mean, is it, you got to come up as a deckhand first? We got to get to know you. You're not just pulling a boat up over there and you're in, right? It's like the mafia. Is it blood in, blood out?
Talk about
blood in, blood out, man.
That's it.
You got to dip your toe in, and we've had a few come and go, and they may be I'm always up for second chances, but it's
mainly a personality thing, there's
well said.
Most people don't have absolutely no clue the hours and the work. You tell customers all the time, everybody, every captain you talk to, from the southern tip of Florida to the western tip of the coast of Texas and the Gulf, will say, how they roll their eyes, when a customer gets on, man, you got the best job in the world. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. You have no clue.
What you see on the boat is not the job. The job is before and after.
Right.
And so a lot of the guys, everybody's a good fisherman. Everybody that does this, people ask us all the time, well, hey, you're not booked. I'm thinking about calling so-and-so. Is he a good fisherman? He's a full-time guide, and yeah, he's very good. Yeah. We all are.
Right.
But it's all, you just have to be able to withstand that day in and day out.
Grind.
And that's when it comes down to where it helps to having that big group to fall back on. If you need something done,
or just, hey, I'm burnt out, guys. Take this one for me.
I mean, it mechanical, mental.
Yep.
Yeah, because things break all the time.
Kiddos get sick and break stuff, and wives need this or whatever. And
we're very fortunate with our customers, our clients as well. Like Sonny said, all of us now have a very big group of repeat. And I think I hope every full-time guide would say this, that we all think we have the best customers out there. I know I have my repeat guys, or there's nobody better than and that helps a lot as well. A successful business is not just having the quantity, it's the quality. Of people that understand, your best customers. You're going to have bad trips from a fishing standpoint. You're going to have phenomenal trips, and the ones that are just as excited, to come on the bad weather days as they are the best days. Yeah. So a lot of credit for a successful charter boat operation is not just the number of customers, but the quality of customers that you get. And I think we're fortunate.
A lot of phone and computer time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So you need to, you get in from a trip, you're tired, you stink, you got to go to this function or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute, my Thursday freed up 2 weeks from now. And I know Mr. So-and-so likes catching whatever. Mm-hmm. And then that turns into 10 texts or phone,
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Part of the grind.
I love it. I still get excited every morning.
You've been in it long enough to know if you didn't love it, because you'd have been out a long time ago.
There's some horror stories, because I always ask, and I recommend getting in the habit, like, where you fish, if y'all been on these before, and they'll say, I went to, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah.
But they'll say, I went down so-and-so. Oh, who'd you fish with? This and that. Did you catch fish? Yeah. Why didn't you go back? The guy was a total jerk.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's plenty of fish killers that can kill quicker, bigger, better than me. I'm well aware of that.
Right.
But
you got to be an entertainer.
You got to try it out.
I know, like on the hunting trips that we've done, like we look forward to going to that place just as much for the guide. And the vibe of the wherever you're staying, is a big part of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. But where I was going with that, some of them get burnt. And look, it may happen to me. I don't know. Who knows what tomorrow's going to bring? But the ones that get burnt out, or maybe the ones that have the land trouble or health or mental, whatever, not knowing when it's time to go to that plan B or step back, that becomes a problem, because, whether it's you guys fishing over here or us way to the west, you're a Mississippi Gulf Coast guide.
Right.
And you'd be blown away how many people, if we got in a conversation and they'd be like, yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Or sure thing. I don't remember. It was one of those coast guys. And it's like, he was a total jerk. And
now you don't know.
Now we're in the
it's
same
probably
thing.
Joey.
Right.
Right. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
But so we kind of, keep eyes on that if somebody's having a rough time.
Yeah, because those people travel all over the country or back up, wherever they're from, and they say, "Oh man,
all it takes is one thing on the internet,
one thing, and then 99 good reviews are overshadowed by one bad one."
Yeah.
And we have to check ourselves. We've all, been guilty of it. I know I get I get the reputation for the one with the short temper and being a little more quick to speak my mind. But
everybody needs an Alex.
Right. You got to have it.
We got an Alex.
But everybody has also been guilty of, just 10 days. It's the middle of July. It's 100 degrees, and maybe speaking a little too quick, snapping at somebody, and it's like, man. Yeah. Really didn't matter. They lost that fish. I need to, hey man,
chill out a little bit.
I need to, I need to calm down. And so we're all guilty of that, and you have to, kind of take that into consideration.
Yeah. Now, y'all mentioned the Cat Island stuff and how that's like helped you expand as far as number of boats and stuff. Walk us through that a little bit, because I see pictures on Facebook.
Sure.
And we've talked about it a couple times, wanting to go out there ourselves. I mean, we're from here. I want to go out there and hang out. What does that look like start to finish? How do people book it? What do you get when you book it? How many, where are you staying? Just for people that maybe don't know.
That we're in year 14
of the island.
Yeah, 13 or 14.
I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah. Well, our first couple of years, it was
12.
Couple trips first year, you know, try and double it for the next year. And then it started spawning other, you know, you'd bring a big company and this salesman would be like, man, I'm going to bring my customers. And just grew it and grew it and grew it. So a normal, most of them are 2-night trips. We do have 3s and we have a couple 4s, but, you know, we do a 1 o'clock pickup, usually Long Beach Harbor, get them over there, unpack, let them, you know, get relaxed. There's usually always food out there. Captain Kenny has taken that operation to a whole new level with the food. Everything revolves around that schedule. Mother Nature can throw some curveballs, but as long as Mother Nature plays nice, it's the schedule that keeps that place running.
Right.
So it's meals at this time, fishing at this time. You don't necessarily have to fish or eat, but we need to be on it for us to keep everything going. What do we do? A little ease into the first trip, the first afternoon. We'll radio in about an hour before sundown and get the shrimp boiling. So when customers come back, you know, there's a big meal waiting on them. A lot of junk food, a lot of desserts. We usually get them squared away. They have the house pretty much to themselves. A couple private rooms and a big loft. 12s. We've done 15. 12s pretty easy because there's 3 full bathrooms. That way it's just easier with, you know, with all that stuff.
Right.
We'll stay on the ground floor, and then the second floor and the third floor is theirs. Early next morning, breakfast, wake up, coffee, take care of whatever needs taken care of, and then we get in the boats, fish till late morning, big lunch, then we got a siesta, and then another hard trip in the afternoon. And again, some people don't fish that hard.
You could stay at the lodge and say, I ain't going, fellas.
You go birding.
You go, yeah, he gets it.
You go birding that afternoon.
Yeah, they'll do that. Sometimes
I ain't going birding, bro.
we'll have a crew
I ain't going birding
that wants to, you know, check out a part of the island. So we'll just bring the fishing bowls, but we'll bring them to a part of the beach and let them see something, or
take them to Ship Island, let them see the fort.
Oh, yeah.
If they're not from here, you got to think about that.
Well, I'm from here, and I still love going out to that thing every time. I'm like looking at it like,
but
man,
if
it's
you're
cool.
from Kansas,
Right. You
have no idea.
Yeah.
So what we do, we fish that second afternoon, big meal. That's usually where we can clean the fish, and fish, shrimp, depending on what's in season. Sometimes Kenny throws soft shells, flounder, whatever we're catching, whatever's good. And then a lot of the crews may stay up a little late on that last night.
Maybe some cold beverages involved.
Depending on what time of year it is. We got Starlink out there, so they'll watch whatever sports, or, you know, we've watched all the MMA pay-per-views and all that stuff out there. And then the next morning, depending on the cruise momentum that evening before, we may have a late breakfast. And then a lot of times they don't fish that last morning. We do it kind of abbreviated trip. And we either do breakfast first, or when we get in, let them gather their stuff. We'll kind of clean our way out, clean fish. And that's another cool thing. I don't remember if we talked about it last time. DMR helped us secure permits to clean and transport fish out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a big thing.
Port Eads was the only place you could transport filleted fish, and they based this one. Mike Thompson helped us with this, and we're some of the only people in the Gulf that can move filleted fish. So we're allowed a 2-day limit per regardless of how many days.
That's what I was going to ask you. What the limit does?
Yeah, so you can stay the whole month. You're only allowed anytime in your person 2 limits. And, you know, we can eat whatever we can, and then clean that, bag it. But, you know, it goes with the float plan. We have to file a float plan every time. Who's going, what time, you know, and then that carries over for the speckled trout, redfish, and I think we get flounder. And then if we start catching white trout or like puppy drum or something, we try and throw that into the grease.
Yeah. Eat those. Yeah. They're better fresh anyway.
Little potato chips.
Yeah. So it that was tough when we first started. We didn't have the permit. We couldn't legally do that. And we out there sometimes 3-4 days, and you're bringing fish in July and cleaning, and people are sitting in the Long Beach parking lot. It's 110 degrees. That was not a good sell. And, and the people at DMR, Jamie Miller was in charge then. Keith Davis was there. Bryce Jacks. Gosh, dog it. I'd love to thank everybody in that room. And I know I'm forgetting people. But they saw what we were trying to do, and look, I mean,
streamlined, everything.
So, but explain that to me. So, before you had this permit, you would have to, whatever you caught for that day, you'd have to, before you fillet them, bring them back to the harbor.
Yes. Whatever you want. But I mean, if you hammered on some trout or redfish, there's only so many you can eat.
Right.
If you don't have this permit, you cannot transport
the fillets,
the filleted fish. So we would have to
cooler them up.
Take them to Long Beach Harbor, and kind of like Sonny was saying, everybody be waiting to leave. They've been out for 3 days. They're standing there.
They might have been overserved the night before.
Right, for sure. But
it definitely streamlines everything.
They would sit in the cooler, though, on ice until the last day. Then you try to clean them all in the harbor that evening.
We got a big ice machine.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
No, it was basically a very big thank you to DMR for helping us with that. They didn't have to.
Right.
They could have just said, "Hey, we don't have a permit. Not our problem."
Right.
But you got a little homework with it. You got to track down the people and get all the info for the float plans, and you got to pay a few bucks for the permit. It's worth every cent.
Yeah.
But so that sucker stays busy. It's majority of it's all repeat.
Right.
And some of the people have been coming since that first year.
Wow.
So it's
anytime you got a business that's got repeat customers, significant of your business is repeat customers. That speaks volumes to what you're doing. And then number two, it's a good business model to have, right?
Yeah.
And again, Kenny has taken that thing
it's another level since he took over the house. I've been around running different duck lodges and been around big lodges for a lot of years. And what Kenny's doing out there is just phenomenal.
Everything from the goofing off to the Starlink to the generators to the he doesn't have to. I don't know why he puts so much.
Probably just loves being out there and entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
He's good. He's just so
good at it. He is. I always tell people, usually those guys that are out at the island a lot, they usually come through, and the fishing's usually very good. But I always tell customers that ask me about it, say, hey, sometimes the fishing's good, sometimes it's not. But if you leave that island hungry or sober, it's your own fault.
That's right. That's right.
That's on you. That's on y'all.
That's all I need to hear to book it.
That's what most people want,
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned it a few times already. A lot of your customers, is it like corporate stuff, or, bringing out clientele, stuff like that?
The house, a lot of like corporate men's groups, guys that went to college together, stayed in touch. Couples, the couples thing's huge.
Really,
families, big families.
I tell you, them ladies and them kids have more fun out there than anyone.
Yeah, because I guess especially during the warmer months, which is 11 and a half of them, they can bring the wives and kids. They can go out and swim and hang out and do whatever while the guys go fish and don't have to get yelled at about it.
And the cool thing is, we bring the boats usually in a multiple of 3. So if you 3 want to go. If y'all want to go birding and then get a glass of wine, right? Y'all can go. Hey, look, man, don't mess with them.
Yeah, right? I'm not, man.
It's
all
probably
about
super
it.
fun. I'm be honest with you.
But no, if this group wants to go out further and go look for a bigger trout, whatever.
Yeah.
And this group, hey, the heat got to us. We want to go back in the AC. Maybe start happy hour a little early.
Right.
Bring us in. And we just, stay on the radio.
Flow with it that way.
Are you running any of your trips out of there, the deep water stuff from the island? Or?
We've kind of piggybacked some. It's kind of tough. Once again, Sonny said the schedule is everything. So sometimes it can kind of be more of a burden if I snatch five guys out of the mix, 6 guys out of the mix of a 10-man group, and they got 3 boats out there. But we have some groups that will reach out through Sonny or me and say, hey, if we got the weather, we want to hold you on that afternoon. Can you come grab us and let's go catch our snapper?
Yeah.
When that pops up, especially with groups we know, absolutely.
We enjoy it because we got to eat it.
Yeah. They can't. The permit doesn't cover.
Doesn't work.
So that's another thing. The permit doesn't cover the snapper. So when I drop it, they can't unless they transport them whole.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So they have to eat them. So Kenny usually has
terrible.
And what Kenny does with that snapper is
but most of them are. They've been with us so many years. They're just hey. Let's do it all. Let's have a little fun.
Get the whole thing.
That's a taste of the coast right there.
Absolutely. Everybody needs to do it at least once.
I want to do it. I'm like I said, we're from here.
One of my finishing questions is this anomaly we had last month with the snow, fish kills. What's it look like on y'all's side over there?
Trevor, we were talking about that before the show. He called. I keep wanting to show these tags.
Oh yeah. We don't let us not.
So he called and told him the truth. There was a few mullet floating in Diamond Head. I live in Diamond Head, and we haven't seen or heard anything in the Bayou, Caddy, Heron Bay, Lake Bourne area. He's like, good. That's that's what I'm hearing. And I said, look, Trevor, I've tagged many redfish and trout over in that area. He's like, oh, I've seen your name, but we haven't really seen anything. Remember how like a week later it was 75 or something? We had a
Mississippi weather.
Yeah. Wait 5 minutes.
Right.
We had an exceptional bite as soon as the water temperature started peaking. But the tagging, so many reasons to do it. That is an incredible reason to do it. We get hit hard with the spillways. Everybody got hit hard with this freeze. But if we've got tags in these fish, and everybody's out there doing their part, either tagging or calling it in, that saves a lot of time and effort when these and we've had a ton of recaptures come in since whatever day Snowpocalypse was. But
this is the USM research
lab.
They
just got new ones. I just opened this bag this morning. So now can I?
It'd probably be easier for me to do.
You used to get them species specific, where it would only be a cobia tag or a trout tag or a redfish. So now you can check which species you want to tag, and then the little tag, you may have to turn the page.
Which makes a lot more sense because we were always running out.
Yeah.
We were tagging trout with redfish tags.
There it is right here.
Yeah, so there's your tag. But people think us guides, we go out there and catch 5-pound trout all day. I wish couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of throwbacks, a lot of rat reds, a lot of undersized. Mississippi's 15-inch, so there's a lot of throwbacks.
14 3/4.
How they know? Nobody knows.
And
and some of us like tagging the bigger fish too.
I get it.
Yeah,
but you're throwing them back anyway. When you get a good system going, every morning when I'm getting ready for the customers, my little tag box comes out and it's right there. You normally can see them coming in, and I'll pop that thing open. Once you get a rhythm going and, date, the location, a lot of times I'll just jot if it's, let's just say the Bay St. Louis train bridge. I'll just put BSL CSX. The train line
shorthand for it. Yep.
And then I'll come back either on the machine on the boat when we get a little downtime, or even at the end of the day, but I always put a note on there. But here's your little pro tip of the day. You put your customer's name on it. I had one turned in yesterday or today. Might've been this morning, over a year ago. And now the fish didn't go anywhere. It stayed right in Back Bay.
Yeah.
But these weren't regulars. These are people from the Midwest. They were here on vacation. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you remember me, but your wife's fish got recaptured.
Sweet.
It was like 15 when we tagged it. It was a redfish, and it was legal. And the guy was nice enough to let it go. So it's out there again.
Yeah.
I had one caught 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
But you're not bothering your people. Everybody loves to get the map and the good.
Yeah, it's got your name on it.
It's got your name. It's like a banded duck, stuff you used to. The guides, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. The rec guys, I get it. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I Can't say enough about the tag program.
It adds another layer of that customer experience, like you said. What did that guy say when you
oh
texted
man,
him?
how you been? How's it going?
Yeah. You need to get back down.
He didn't book, but I have booked a mini. Off of Rat Red.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Way back when.
A reason to reconnect.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Without saying,
right,
$10 off if you call me back, guy, something like that. This is something, a gift, and
I need to get some new ones because I still have the old ones where it's
just got these
fish specific.
Yeah. Right.
And as much as we've flipped and flopped, I'm sure she doesn't, scratching out.
Man.
But
she's a saint, Miss Diane.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Has she ever been on here?
No.
She's over the Sportfish tag program.
Okay.
She is awesome.
Yep. I mean, you run out of tags; they're in the mail that day.
I don't know how she gets them to us as fast as she does.
Wow.
She's a saint.
Yeah. We know the Sportfish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can reach out and see if we can't get her on here.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
She's
cool.
For sure.
Well, but I think before we wrap everything up, we were talking a little bit before we went live. We're going to go there. What do you think? I think we should talk about it. I think we should talk about it because it ain't the first time we've asked charter boat captains this question.
Yeah.
This is a reoccurring question that we ask you guys. But what is either one of your wildest stories, one of your best stories, one of your worst customer experiences, or best customer experiences that you've had as a charter boat captain? Either one of you could take this question, or both of you could take this question.
So are we going with the one?
I think it's worthy of discussion.
Nobody's cussed yet on the show.
I think I can get through it.
Your delivery can be however you want it to be. Okay, it's up to you.
So anybody that's fished with me more than probably once or twice has heard this, and it's one of those ones when they bring somebody else, man, tell them that story.
Yeah, right. So I definitely would do that.
Right. Yeah. So we were offshore one day, and it was actually this time.
Not a short thing trip.
No, this was years ago. And it was a little later in the year, and now the guys out of Venice have perfected. They cast net pogies a lot and baits a lot different. Back then, we weren't as active with the pogie fishing. We were trying to catch. All our live bait was on speakies in early spring, and there was a time period. It was very, very hard to catch bait, and you literally would work, 2 to 4 hours, maybe catch 10 to a dozen baits. No matter what it was. And this specific day, we were catching a little bitty tinker mackerel, and tinker mackerel, if you look at them wrong, they'll die. Cool. They're we spent a lot of time. We caught the bait, but it was also the time of year. If you spend the time to get the baits, closest thing to a guarantee you're going to get, if you've got the bait, you're going to get the fish. So we make the run. We caught the bait. We ran about 25 miles to know. We actually remember where we were. We were at Medusa. Ran to Medusa. And as soon as we got there, put 2 baits out, instantly doubled up, got them both in. Beautiful springtime fish, 40, 60-pound yellowfin, perfect. Ooh. And reset again. As soon as the baits hit the water, instantly doubled up, got one, lost one. I'm thinking, 3 hours to catch bait. We're going to be done here in about 20 minutes. So I had 5 customers on the boat, 3 guys and 2 ladies, and was running a 37 Freeman at the time, and we didn't have a head on the boat, just a 5-gallon bucket. And always tell the ladies, if you need to use a restroom, there's a 5-gallon bucket. Well, one of the ladies had already used the facilities, used the bucket. And as I was resetting the boat after that second drift where we doubled up, got one, lost one, I'm resetting, man. I'm, cloud 9, everybody's high-fiving everybody's in the bow of the boat.
Gonna be a great day today,
man. Best trip ever.
What could go wrong?
Making me look like I'm a lot better than I am. Well, the second lady walks by me and she says, I got to go to the bathroom in the back. And I kind of, back there where the other girl went, the bucket's back there. So I'm standing at the console facing forward. Everybody else is in the bow.
Because that's what you do.
Right,
that's what you do as a
facing
man.
Forward.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
And she goes behind me. And keep in mind with all of this, she had been involved. The whole boat's involved in catching bait. Everybody had been, very much involved in that 3-hour time period trying to get those dozen tinker mackerel. So she knew where we were catching them and where they were going. So as I'm resetting, I'm facing forward at the console. Everybody's in front of me. The other girl that was in the boat is at the bow, and she looks over my shoulder from the bow of the boat, and I see her face kind of drop, and she points, and she said, "I don't think she's supposed to be right there." And I glance.
You can't really whip it back all the way.
I glanced over my shoulder, and she was sitting on the center well that we were using. Obviously using it as a facility, using it as a bathroom. So I start instantly, I start, get off the live well, get off the live well. And she's yelling at me, turn around. And finally, this 20, 30 seconds, she gets off the live well and she runs to the bow of the boat, beat red, embarrassed. I'd run back there to try to fill up one of the other wells to get the bait out. I'm assuming that she peed in the
number
live
one.
well.
That's what we all would think.
Here
number
we go.
one.
So when I got to the live well, I quickly realized she had not peed.
It was not number one.
Oh, no. So you had Tinker Mackerel and Brown Trout in your live well.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember this fish being in here.
The Tinker Mackerel are already on their side, just absolutely quivering, and so I'm trying not to absolutely lose my mind. And she's up there mumbling, and I walk up there.
That guy looked at me.
Right.
And I told her, I said, I'm just trying to stay straight face. I said, I'm not cleaning that up. You've got to clean that up. So everybody's asking her, what does he mean? You got to clean that up. Then it starts dawning on everybody what happened, and it's going around. Oh my God, you in the live well?
Man.
So she said, fine, I'll clean it up. And she walked back and she picked my bait net up and was going to scoop everything out of the bait. And no, absolutely not. Do not use that'll kill the bait for the next week. And, I'm running out of Venice. I said, I'll have to go to the city to get another bait net. Absolute. So now she's mad. She throws the bait net on the deck, walks to the bow of the boat. Mad, her boyfriend is sitting on a beanbag in the bow of the boat drinking a beer. She took the hat off her boyfriend's head, walked back to the live well, scooped with his hat, dumped it out, walked back to the front of the boat. I never will forget it, and put the hat back on his head. Doo-doo water running down his face. And what
do you do in that situation?
I'm frozen. I was scared he was going to get up, and he didn't.
Throw her off the boat.
Right.
He didn't. And, to make matters worse, we had chum and dead bait on the boat. And to make matters worse, the fish were obviously there, but they wouldn't touch dead bait. And I called one of our sister boats over there, and I called him on the radio. He was 15 miles away or so. I said,
You're never going to believe this.
I said, if you got bait, I said, get over here. They're here. He said, yeah. I said, man, all my bait died.
Code Brown.
Right. I didn't tell him. I said, all my bait died. But if you get over here, you can probably. And he's on the radio because I was real particular about my bait and everything. He said, what do you mean? Your bait? Yeah. Why'd your bait done? I wouldn't tell him on the radio. Everybody's still embarrassed up front. So he comes over. And he only had about 12 bait, so he didn't have enough to give us any. So he starts to just.
Oh, they did not in front of you. Right in front of you. No, I know. I'm just hoping that maybe they didn't catch him.
No, they cracked him. I mean, and the main guy finally walked up to me, and we're chumming. Main guy walked up to me. He said, Cap, we're done tuna fishing, aren't we? I said, man, we'll give it. The bait's 20 miles back to the north. It's not like we can get more bait. And he said, no, let's wrap it up. So everybody's on the radio. Why'd your bait die? So they found out. Obviously, that day at the Venice Marina bar, I told everybody. So what was funny is a couple guys snuck on my boat a few days later and got a sticker and put on the live well, said no dumping. Put on the live well top.
Yes,
but
that is a good one.
Chocolate payday. Left you a chocolate payday.
Baby Ruth. Yeah,
that's always been a fan favorite.
I was going to say that's a showstopper. That's a good one. I don't know. Have you ever been in a bar and got beat with that story? I don't think you have.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're around other charter boat guys long enough.
All right. Well, and then, we're going to do an episode, I guess, live from the Venice Marina bar, and we'll get all of y'all in there and see if we can start firing these off.
We'd be canceled.
No,
pretty
it's the internet.
quickly.
It's the internet. Trump's in office. We're good.
Yeah, you get to really.
No, that's a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible story. Actually.
Yeah,
It's a
it
good
was.
story.
It wasn't funny at the time,
Right.
And everybody always asked me. The customers love to hear it. What the girl looked like. Was she? I was like, no, she wasn't. She'd been drinking, but she wasn't drunk. And
That was what I would assume. If she was just hammered.
no.
No.
It would have been easier to understand.
Stomach.
If she
Yeah.
was. No, I mean, it was. Yeah.
And you said she knew where the bait went. That's another one. I could maybe see if you've never been around the water or
need to
something.
get
I don't know.
a Bristol stool chart to tell that.
No, absolutely not. No, because it was not good. But yeah, that was the worst thing. Is like I said, everybody was involved trying to catch bait, so she knew what was going on and where it was going.
I bet that bait was thinking we would have loved to have been killed by a yellowfin.
Yeah,
We would have loved to have been
instead of
eaten by
that.
that. Why would you do this to us?
Somebody was reincarnated that did terrible things.
That's how they had to go out.
That Tinkerman,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Oh, gentlemen, I don't know of a better way to end the podcast than that, because that was a good one.
But before we jump out of here,
yeah.
tell us how to get in touch with you. Tell us your links. Tell us all that stuff.
The easiest thing, surethingcharters.com. It's got all our packages, offshore, inshore, birding, Cat Islands on there, and rates. We just updated.
Yeah, I checked. They just finished the updates yesterday.
Nice.
So the website is current.
All right. So the rates are all current. Phone number, the office line, 228-342-2206, or you can get my cell, 228-342-2295, or you can come by Shaggy's. There's tons of information there with all the boats and the Facebook page.
They're there.
Charters.com.
They're there. That's right.
And you can walk-up service too, right? If you're over that way.
He says we got Shaggy's, just walk up there and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and another good, just a quick mention with Shaggy's as well, as they offer the catch and cook deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you fish with one of us, or actually any of the guys that run out at Shaggy's, and that's a huge hit.
Walk that bag of fish.
Walk a bag of fish.
Yeah.
We did that with Captain Mike on the shrimp tour. He runs over here on the
Mikey Moore.
Yeah.
Great guy.
And look,
super cool.
Born and raised here.
Yeah.
It made it more fun. I mean,
awesome.
it was just cool. It was really cool to take that little bag and have them cook it
I
for
haven't
you.
cooked fish in my house since they offered that.
Yeah, and they do a unbelievably great job, and the Blind Tiger does it as well. They do an absolutely phenomenal job as well.
Get the taco option with all the
100%. Either Shaggy's or Blind Tiger. You do it definitely fish taco setups to go with it.
There you go.
That's
great.
killer.
I love it. Well, gentlemen, thank you all again for stopping by, chatting with us. This is a good one. I know
Great show.
it was very good.
Great
I
show.
threw all the links below to the Facebook page and surethingcharters.com. So if you're watching live or on the replay, just give it a click and go check them out, man, and book a trip, because I think it'd be a damn good time if you've never done anything like that, especially if you're not from here.
Yeah.
So check that out. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Bay Rat Bash is going to be coming up not too much longer, so stay on the lookout for that. Download the Brownwater Banter app if you haven't done that already. Right inside of the app, you can follow all of our content, and we've got links to NOAA weather, tide charts, all kind of stuff like that. So check it out if you haven't. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and if y'all keep tuning in.